Many people have been using Nintendo Switch Online since it launched in September 2018. In addition to the current membership, we'll be adding a new membership plan. As a part of this new plan's content, you'll be able to play a collection of Nintendo 64 games.
Savage! Oh! I'm a savage!
Nintendo 64 system launched 25 years ago.
I have to get!
I think this system gave many players their first 3D gaming experiences, as
Yes!
well as intense 4-player multiplayer action.
What's next?
So, as you know at this point, the Nintendo Direct that arrived last week on the 23rd marked the official reveal of the Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pack, a new extension of the service that allows the Big N to hike the price, justifiable in their eyes by the addition of new libraries to offer. And while we don't know how much more we'll have to pay just yet, we do know the consoles that will join the service come next month. The Nintendo 64, which I anticipated greatly and touched upon on my initial reaction to the news, and the Sega Genesis. While the Nintendo 64 was in the realm of possibility, with others envisioning something different like Game Boy and GBA games, I and many others didn't expect the 16-bit icon to join NSO. And as much as I can go into the games that we will get, the games we should get, and the cruel irony of the Genesis and some of its library ending up as bonus content on Nintendo subscription service, the most important aspect of this surprise inclusion is what it suggests for any new content we could see for Switch Online moving forward. Let's talk about it. Up to this point, the Switch Online service has offered NES and SNES games, with no hint of it straying from the business plan of offering more and more recent Nintendo libraries as each year passes. With Genesis coming soon, it now begs the question, what can't be added? Even if only Sega consoles will be seen alongside Nintendo's on the service from now on, it could mean we may see Master System, Saturn, or even Dreamcast games playable on Switch. But I'd like to push the gauntlet even further than that. Think back to the last time Sega Genesis titles were available through a legacy content system on Nintendo hardware. It was the Virtual Console in the dearly missed Wii Shop channel. While the Wii U's Virtual Console only encompasses Nintendo systems all the way up to DS and TurboGrafx-16, but we'll get to that. With the 3DS throwing in some Game Gear titles, the Wii's Virtual Console offerings contained a wide collection of consoles from Nintendo and otherwise. Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx-16, the Neo Geo AES, Master System, even Commodore 64 games. All those consoles were available to the collection by 2009. That was over a decade ago. And with licensing and Nintendo's subsequent restructuring of legacy content distribution, it's understandable why third-party backlogs have been absent or restrained to publisher compilation collections. However, with Switch Online settling into itself as being a clear, and I mean clear, source of disgustingly large income for Nintendo, especially compared to Virtual Console and the mini consoles, I think it's not much of a reach at all to begin to seriously speculate the company's rollout plan to reintroduce these third-party consoles. And where's a better place to start than the realm of rational possibility? With the Genesis confirmed, I think it's fair to say the most logical console to be added in the near future would be its predecessor in the Sega Master System. While the sequential rationale would be to continue to the next console following the Genesis, it would be easier to toss in a good amount of Master System titles onto the service, giving some great parallels between the Master System and the Genesis with the NES and the SNES libraries. Games that come to mind are Alex Kidd and Miracle World, the 8-bit versions of Sonic 1 and 2, I got a video on that by the way, Prince of Persia and Psycho Fox, and of course, Phantasy Star. Straying away from Sega for a moment, another console I can see joining Switch Online is the Neo Geo AES. SNK's 24-bit gem was one of the earliest third-party consoles on the Virtual Console and has a fantastic group of games that would justify it receiving its own corridor in the NSO Collective. The Last Blade, Blazing Star, the original Windjammers, Neo Turf Masters, Polestar, and without a doubt the King of Fighters, Fatal Fury, and Metal Slug titles respectively. Then there is the TurboGrafx-16, aka the PC Engine outside of the US. NEC's neat little console and its additional peripherals in the TurboGrafx CD and Turbo Duo also have a history dating back to the Virtual Console's launch in 2006, and with the system getting its own mini console edition in May of last year, featuring titles like Blazing Lasers, Bonk's Revenge, Military Madness, Space Harrier, and Bomberman 94, it gives Nintendo a blueprint of the lineup they can aim for when they implement it onto Nintendo Switch Online. Now, there are definitely some more drastic predictions that could be made as well. With the N64 confirming the progression of 3D consoles being added to the service, it pushes the pace for viable options, and parts of the community anticipating the eventual arrival of GameCube games, it might not be too far off to trek even further down the rabbit hole and bring along another 128-bit classic, specifically Sega's Swan Song in the Dreamcast, and instead of jumping that far ahead, we could definitely see them going directly with the Genesis' successor, the Sega Saturn. The console never appeared on Virtual Console. However, it offers a selection of solid, underrated, and subsequently overlooked games due to how poorly the Saturn performed, especially in the States. And although arcade ports made up a majority of the strongholds of both the Saturn and the Dreamcast libraries, there is still a significant list of iconic games that would be more than welcome if they ever managed to find their way onto Switch Online. On the Saturn side, Sega published titles like Virtua Fighter, Daytona USA, Burning Rangers, Golden Axe, Panzer Dragoon, Nights into Dreams, Sonic 3D Blast, and Sonic R could quite lead an impressive roster. On the Dreamcast side, of course the main events would be Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, but others like Crazy Taxi, Choo Choo Rocket, Jet Set Radio, Samba de Amigo, Sega Bass Fishing, Shenmue, Space Channel 5, Sonic Shuffle, Skies of Arcadia. I mean, I could go on and on about an amazing potential lineup like that. However, due to the lack of notoriety of the Saturn in particular, as well as the current unknowingness of 6th generation 128-bit consoles like the GameCube and the Dreamcast making it to the service whatsoever, it may be a longer stretch for both of the Genesis' little siblings to ever see the light of day on NSO. All in all, the recent announcement of the Genesis coming to Switch Online was a pleasant surprise on top of the relief I felt finally getting the confirmation of N64 for the service. But the bigger picture of the Mega Drive's arrival opens up the door so much more that can be untapped as Nintendo further develops this new subscription format. And while I agree needs to be a whole nother conversation to be had about this direction Nintendo is taking, regardless, I still wanted to make this shorter follow-up video addressing the underlying meaning of the Genesis coming along. If we are bound to see a rollout that eventually leads us to a dramatic return to a lot of Virtual Console content, one by one, with the chance for it being pushed even further than the consoles that were offered way back when on the Wii Shop channel, then just for now, I have to admit I'm a little excited and down to speculate just how crazy this can get. I'm absolutely positive that there will be more to unfold and discuss leading up and following the launch of the expansion pack next month. That being said, let me know in the comments what console you want to see come to Nintendo Switch Online. Whether it's your favorite third-party console or just a Nintendo system you're holding out on, I want to hear it. No limitations. As always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 1K. If you stuck around to the end, I truly appreciate you. And of course, take care, good game, and thank you for watching. Peace!